Hey, welcome to the channel. We're a family of 4 from Perth and we've sold up for the trip of a lifetime around Australia. And there's the sign.
Parliamentarians, when you're making decisions to send Australians to war, you know the cost of those decisions. And those discussions are happening over this very table here. This is the Singapore surrender table.
I actually found myself getting a little bit emotional at times.
Very interesting, guys. Yeah. And that was free. Absolutely no cost.
Thanks to the support of our partners, 4x4 Extras Wangara, JB Caravans, TC Boxes, and Petters Suspension and Brakes. We've just driven through the beautiful town of Gundagai, actually featured in a poem by Banjo Patterson called The Road to Gundagai.
Ah, there you go. Yep.
So many of you might have learnt about that at school or heard about it before, but we've just driven the road into Gundagai. Very beautiful, windy roads, rolling hills. The poem is set between the town of Tumut and Gundagai. It's essentially the road that we've just driven, which is quite amazing.
It was beautiful. It actually reminds me somewhat of Buchan with all the rolling hills in the distance, except less green. It's a lot drier out here.
Yeah, a little bit dry.
But yeah, beautiful. So we can understand why it would feature in a poem.
Yeah, amazing. Sometimes it pays to take the path less travelled when you're caravanning or touring and going through these little towns, because you see so much more and you learn little bits of history along the way as well. So we've got a few hours drive I think are still ahead of us. It's quite slow going with these windy roads, but yeah. We're enjoying it.
Windy steep roads.
Yeah. Good test for the Ranger. We're looking for the ACT border sign. Not sure if there is one, but we just go in ACT.
There probably won't be one because we're like expecting it.
Yeah, I reckon.
The Victorian one caught us off guard.
Yeah, it kind of came up fast.
It came up fast and we're like, crap, that was a sign. And we had to quickly pull over, didn't we? So this time we're prepared and I can see the border.
Yep, there's the line, guys.
So any time now, if there is one.
And there's the sign. So Kate, you wanted a sign. That's a pretty big one, right?
Yeah, they don't mess around here apparently. The other states just had the normal metal signs, but that was like a proper fancy pants one.
They had to outdo all the other states, didn't they?
I know. Canberra? I'm impressed.
I guess it is the capital of Australia, so.
That was a bit tricky to get into.
A little bit. We've got a fire hydrant on the other side of the car, so to try and manoeuvre the van in was a bit tricky, but we got in there with a bit of manoeuvring. But yeah, this is the showgrounds in Canberra. I think it's Epic Campgrounds, something it's called. So we're pretty accessible to the town. There's a tram line nearby. We're on power and water here as well. So we've got a few days here in Canberra, so we wanted something that was pretty accessible. Quite a bit to see and do in Canberra as well.
Plus voting. We need to sort of just tick that off our list.
Yeah, there's the WA election, so we need to get our vote in as well. So we're going to do that this afternoon, actually. We're going to literally unhitch now.
Get it done.
And then
smash it out.
Do that.
I must say, checking in to Epic here, I was pretty impressed. So when you check in, you get a map, right, of the Canberra area. And on the back, you've got a list of all the free places to visit, plus all the paid ones on separate sides. And it's just literally a 10-minute tram ride or maybe 15-minute into the CBD area, so really handy. And I know that the other places that we were looking at, the paid caravan parks, they were a lot further out. And it would have also required driving in to everything that we wanted to do here, which we didn't really ideally want to do because a lot of it is bunched together. And it's $50 a night, which we thought was pretty reasonable for power and water as well.
We're in the centre of Canberra, getting our vote in now. We're at the Nara Centre. So yeah, hopefully it's a pretty painless experience.
All done?
That's pretty straightforward, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was worried it would be a complicated thing because we're obviously not from here.
No.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Yeah, very easy. Walked in, someone came down to meet us, they had the ballot papers, and we were done and out in about 5 minutes. So
yeah, checked we're Mark and Kate.
Yep.
No?
Yeah. That was good. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the big thing.
Easy.
That's the big thing ticked off. So
yeah.
I'm pretty stuffed though, so I don't know if I'm up to sightseeing today, but yeah, we've got about a week here to explore. All right. We've been craving some Japanese, so we've got a lovely bento box here. I've got a karagi one. Max has got salmon. Mum also has salmon, and Izzy has some sort of a bowl, poke bowl. Pretty cool, Max.
It's a basketball hoop mural.
There you go.
So Mark accidentally took a wrong turn, and it looks like we're going to Parliament by accident. Oh, you're lucky, Mark. There's a little turn you can do if you change into the left lane here. Oh yeah, look at all that over there, guys. That's pretty cool. All the important buildings down there. Whoops, it's actually quite scenic, isn't it?
I did it on purpose.
That was a bit tight.
It's like 2.3 metres and I'm 2.3 metres, so yeah, it's...
We just went in really slow. We were driving like an absolute ninny, right?
Yes.
The person behind's like, what's going on?
Today we're doing a tour of the Australian War Memorial here in Canberra. We've heard really good things about it. I expect it to be a little bit moving as well. Everyone I know that's visited has said it's amazing. So we've allocated a fair bit of time today to explore with the kids here with us as well.
Yep.
So it'll be quite a learning experience for them and us as well.
Yep.
Beautiful building. There's a Parliament House, hey?
Yep.
Down there.
Bean is the founder of the War Memorial. Official correspondent for Australia in the First World War, wrote the official history of it after the war, and accompanied Australian soldiers on the shores of Gallipoli on the Western Front, so first-hand experience of that conflict, and then was on the Western Front in France, where he became convinced that, look, we have to have somewhere in Australia that the families of those who have lost so many, 62,000 never returned home. There's got to be somewhere for those families to come to grieve. Not just to grieve, but to see what was actually done, to tell the story of those years as well. Looking down Anzac Avenue, Anzac Parade, I'm sorry, the lake just at the end of that, the low white building on the other side is Old Parliament House, and behind that we've got New Parliament House with the big flag top above it. Why I'm pointing that out to you, Charles Bean, in arguing that the Australian War Memorial should be on this site here, said, parliamentarians, when you're making decisions to send Australians to war, you know the cost of those decisions. So just behind us here, this is the commemorative area, the rolls of honour on both sides, which records the names of the 103,000 Australians who have lost their lives in service of our country, in war and also operational service. And the Hall of Memory at the very end up there, which has the tomb of the unknown Australian soldier and the honouring of all of our war dead.
War combat, and that as a result, Australia is also at war.
Tobruk is in Libya, on the Mediterranean coast of North Africa. Its importance is this deep sea port. And you can see from the ships that are in it that it's been fought over quite a bit in the early years of the war. The name that we have heard in Australia, have you heard of the rats of Tobruk? You have now. Don't forget it. It's a really important term because the German propagandist, Lord Hawhall was his name. He was an English fellow, but that was the name that he was called by Australians. He said of the Australians in the trenches here, "You're rats," meaning you're living underground, you're scurrying away from the light, and maybe a hint of vermin in that as well. But what happened with Australians there, they said, "Yeah, we're the rats of Tobruk," and took that on as a badge of honour. What does that look like to you?
It's like an engine or something?
Yeah, it does. It looks like an engine because that's what it is. It's just a bit of old war junk that was found in an ocean, but it tells us a really important story. Because what this takes us to is the very first action in the Second World War. You know, I've great delight talking to Americans when they come and talk, saying, "What's the first thing that happened in the Second World War?" And they say, "The bombing of Pearl Harbor." And I'll say, "No, it's this." An Australian aircraft, a Hudson bomber with 4 men in it, sees the Japanese landings coming through the Pacific off Malaya, and they see the landings at Malaya, and so they start to engage them. The plane this is one the engine's from, is shot down. 3 of the 4 crew are killed in that crash. They're the first 3 lives lost of Australians to the Japanese in the Second World War. 1 crew member survives. His name is Don Dowie, but he has a broken back, but he's able to float off in a raft. He's captured by the Japanese, so he becomes the first Australian prisoner of war with the Japanese. His wartime experience in prisoner of war camps, what he sees happening are medics and doctors looking after people who are so badly wounded and injured, who are getting tropical diseases. He survives the war, but that experience inspires him to become a doctor after the war, but not just any doctor, a doctor specialising in prostheses for wounded people, in fact. So a little bit of war junk takes us to an interesting story, doesn't it, of a very brave man who gave a lot back to his community afterwards. This postcard shows you the discussions that are happening in the Ford Motor Factory at Singapore. You've got the English General Percival here with his head to the side, has come along to negotiate terms of surrender with Japanese General Yamashita. Yamashita, though, makes it absolutely clear, no terms, no negotiation, the only thing on offer here is total surrender. And with the stroke of a pen, 130,000 Commonwealth troops, including 15,000 Australians, become immediate prisoners of war. And those discussions are happening over this very table here. This is the Singapore surrender table. Several days before the surrender of Singapore, a boat left Singapore harbour. It was carrying 65 Australian nurses and about 150 civilian men, women and children. A few days out of Singapore, it was bombed, and the survivors made their way ashore to a place called Banker Island. Over the next few hours, survivors from other boats that had been bombed came ashore, so that by the morning of the 16th of February, there were about 100 people on a little beach called Cleary Beach. They decided the only thing they could do was hand themselves into the Japanese who were just arriving. But the civilian women there say the children in our group are starving, we've got to take the kids away to get food, so the children leave, civilian women leave. There are about 80 people left. Small Japanese troop arrives, separates the men from the women. The men are taken behind a headland, shots are heard, and soldiers returning are seen to be wiping blood from the bayonets. Then a machine gun is set up on the beach, and the nurses are ordered to walk into the water. Matron Irene Drummer, the head nurse, calls out, "Chins up, girls, I love you all, I'm proud of you." And we know this because one nurse survives. That's her painting on the wall there, that's Vivian Bullwinkle. Now this is Vivian's nurse's uniform. Just come here, can you see that little hole above the belt? That's where the bullet has come through from the front. So she's been shot from behind with this machine gun, The bullet has come straight through her body, miraculously missing a spine, missing vital bodily organs. Vivian described as like being kicked by a mule, knocked into the water. She thinks she's been killed. She realises I'm alive. She pretends to be dead, floats out with the tide, floats back in with the tide, and when it's safe to come out of the water, she does so. She finds a wounded British serviceman who'd also survived, and for the next 2 weeks, the two of them survive on water that's just coming out of that between some rocks, and local people giving them food. And the local people then say, we can't keep doing this, it's too dangerous. We'll be caught, we'll be killed. So they hand themselves in. That British soldier dies shortly after from his wounds. Vivian becomes a prisoner of war for the next 3.5 years, and it's at the War Crimes Tribunal after the war that the world becomes aware of the Banker Island massacre.
Well, that was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, really interesting and quite sad as well. I mean, some of the people that passed were like 20, you know, that was just...
Yeah, and younger. I mean, Ross, the tour guide, was so informative, really helped to explain it in a way that the kids could understand as well. But I actually found myself getting a little bit emotional at times. They've done such an amazing job bringing to life all these stories, because you know, there's thousands and thousands of people that have lost their lives for Australia fighting wars, but the way he was able to narrate that. And just for some context, it's the 85th anniversary of World War II, so that's why we went on a World War II specific tour today. So it was focusing on that. There's heaps that you can learn about World War I, other conflicts, more modern conflicts, the Iraq War, Afghanistan. Look, there's so much more we can see here, and we're just gonna have a break now for lunch and come back. But I'd go as far as saying, if you like your war history and you'd like to learn more, it'd be worth a trip to Canberra just to come here. It's just quite something.
And it was quite interesting, you know, throughout the tour he was telling us about individual stories as well, as we went, you know, different sections of the tour, and telling us about this person and that person and what happened in that moment. It was really interesting.
Ross was happy for us to film and to be featured, so thank you for that. You know, for that information and for involving the kids as well. A lot of this is quite, you know, it's quite powerful stuff, and he did check with us a couple of times whether the story was okay to tell completely, and I said absolutely, it's good for them to learn about this.
So much information, so interesting. And look, if you do get to come here, certainly check in at the counter and ask when they're doing the next free tour, because they do them throughout the day. But I believe they stop at 3:15, something like that. So get here first thing in the morning, just to make sure that, you know, if there's certain areas that you want to look at, you've got time to do those.
Grounds you a bit as well, I think. We are very lucky, my generation, Kate's, the kids, that we haven't experienced the atrocities of the past that many have sacrificed their lives for us. So we've arrived back in the city. This is the Enlighten Festival, a date with democracy. So it's an event being held in Canberra. It's a free event. We don't know what to expect, but apparently there's music and a bit of history around democracy.
Dancing, karaoke, I don't know. It's a free festival for all ages, so kids as well.
What do you think of that, Max?
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool?
They're probably using like projectors up there.
Very amazing. good.
Taste test. Oh, it's good.
I don't wanna disappear from the home of love and fear.
How great was that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool for a free event.
Going in old Parliament House was really cool. Showed the kids all the old prime ministers. Yeah, it was really cool. But just the whole thought process into it was really good. And the music and the live bands.
Free shuttle though, which is really cool.
Yep.
So we've both had a pint. Was it a pint or a
Pint, I think.
pint? So we don't have to worry about driving. So this takes us into town and then we just get the tram back to camp.
Job done.
Easy.
Nice quiet one today, guys. Probably the day we needed after a really busy one yesterday. Actually been really nice and quiet here at the showgrounds, so it's been really nice. Power and water. We've had the aircon on today because it's been quite warm. We've got a bit more we want to see in Canberra. We're actually really surprised. There's actually a lot of free things to see in Canberra that we've been really impressed about. All right, let's open her up. Oh, that looks amazing. For those of you wondering, I found the perfect medium steak on the barbecue is full heat, as hot as you can get it. Preheat it, 4 minutes aside, and then let it rest. Thanks to Tim on that one because that's his tip. But yeah, it's worked for years. And on the barbecue, just gotta make sure you get it really hot and then get your steak on there. But if you like your steak medium, 4 minutes aside works amazing. This particular one, we've got some garlic butter that we're putting on top of it as well, so it's gonna be pretty epic. How's the steak, Max? Have you tried some?
So good. It's like the best steak I've ever had. I don't know what seasoning you put on here, but it's really good.
Really good. Oh, well, that's a tick. So good, guys.
So Mark's got this thing where he likes to park as far away as possible.
Usually next to a curb if I can, but there isn't.
Like the door's all the way down there.
Look how close the ticket machine is, so I'm saving you a walk.
There's ticket machines everywhere though.
So we're at the Australian National Museum here in Canberra. There's a lot of free things that you can do here, but there's also an exhibit on at the moment.
Yeah, which is all about Pompeii. That bit you do have to pay for.
But Kate's really keen to see it.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of historical significance in Italy, so yeah, keen to find out more.
Yeah.
Apparently it's quite an interactive sort of experience, so yeah, we'll check that one out. We've got the kids here with us as well. How cool is this, guys? It's a trailway caravan from 1956. So after the World War II, there was an increase in influence and disposable income in Australia. People were buying vehicles, really started the caravan industry in Australia. Made by a company called Proppet Body Building Works. So there you go, very basic, single axle van, beautiful car towing it. We'll have to have a look at that as well. A 1955 FJ Holden. It's an immaculate condition, this one.
It was quite interesting. Learned quite a lot that I didn't know already, and the volcano kept exploding. It seemed like every, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. You know, it was about $62 for a family of 4, which was quite a lot, I guess, for what it was, but it was very, very interesting.
We also jumped into the actual museum as well.
Yes, so that bit's free. That doesn't cost anything.
They've actually got a bit of a feature on the Kimberley in Western Australia at the moment, and some Aboriginal history as well, so that was really interesting to have a look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's heaps of other free stuff on around town, so we're going to see what we can fit in today. All right, Parliament House.
That's where we're going, people. That building there is where we were for that festival, but the other side, which was on the big grass area.
Yeah, that was the Enlighten Festival, and then flip around and we have the Australian Parliament. It is a public holiday today, so Parliament won't be sitting, but we're keen to go in and have a look around. huge. Yeah, the scale of it is intense. Like,
Yeah.
you walk through the Great Hall, which is big in itself, and then you keep going, and you've got two sides. You've got the House of Representatives and the Senate. I mean, obviously stuff all you guys probably know about, but it's really cool to see it in person. And the scale of the rooms are huge.
We weren't allowed to record anything there that can be used commercially, only for private use, obviously for security reasons. So it is something you would need to come see yourself, but we found it really interesting.
It's good. Yeah, it's really, really good. I think it was about $1.1 billion to build this facility. Obviously it's that grand, but in today's money, that would be over $4 billion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And it
massive
opened
expense.
in 1988.
It did. And the Queen was here to
Wow.
officially open the facility. It took, I think I read it was seven, 8 years to build.
Yeah, wow, okay. So with the amount of concrete they used to build Parliament House, they could build 25 Sydney Opera Houses, which is insane because that's also quite big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's nuts. Very interesting, guys. And that was free. Absolutely no cost to have a nosy. Obviously, you can't see all of the building. There's certain areas that you can't get to for whatever reason, but very worthwhile doing if you're in Canberra.
Happy birthday, Max!
We're at Malaysian called Papa Rich.
It's Max's birthday, so I'm going to treat him for dinner. So what have we got here?
Matcha.
Matcha ice cream and... What's yours?
know what it's called.
It's a cheesecake one, isn't it?
This is giving bubble tea vibes.
This is Anita Galato in Canberra. So yeah, very fancy. Birthday boy, just got to get his ice cream. So yeah, we had a nice dinner. So yeah, nice night. We're all full now though.
Yes, very. So, Mark, what's happening here?
Excuse the mess, because we were trying to do some washing as we leave camp tomorrow. But yeah, our washing machine here has, well, it's not working. It's come out with an error code. It doesn't appear to be getting any water. Now we are on mains water here, so it should work. So we've done a bit of diagnostics, and at the bottom of the NCE washing machine, you have a drain cup. With one screw, you can take that out. There was a bit of grit in it, but nothing like caked or anything like that. It's not getting water somehow, so
We've checked the tap outside, we've checked the hose. It's very strange.
So my next thing I'm going to try, if that doesn't work, is I'm going to put some water in the tanks, see if it'll work off the tanks, and then it might be like a water pressure issue, I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty strange. This has been very reliable. We've been, smashing it and using it all the time, so so I don't know, I'm going to put this back on now.
And that was fun to get off, wasn't it? Just for the record.
It was not the easiest
Oh my
thing,
God.
But,
Oh, now I can't see your head's in the way.
well, yeah, this doesn't line up exactly, so it's a bit off center, but anyway. It's been good otherwise, so we'll see if we can sort it. Now I've got to get it back in, which is
This will teach us to leave washing to the last day, right? Before we leave the source of water.
That's on. Nice weather for it. We're on the move again. I think, 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive today?
Yeah.
The kids have actually got nap plan over the next 3 days, so that's an extra little challenge we've got to fit into the agenda. So we're going to hit the road in a little bit, but obviously we had a bit of dramas with our washing machine. We couldn't get it working.
We've just added that to the list this morning.
Yeah, cleaned the filter, did a heap of stuff and couldn't get it working. So we're going to have to call the manufacturer, I think, to see what the next steps are, because there's no blockage. I cleaned the grey water tank. I did all the sort of stuff that you would normally do. So it's a bit of a weird one. It's making this weird like humming sound as well.
Yeah.
Don't know. Hopefully it's not a replacement job, but we'll see. But we do use that a lot. And it also featured in a song by Jack O'Hagan.
Let's do that again.
Yeah. We get around, guys.
So we're looking for the Australian Capital Territory. I forgot what it was called then. I had to think what the ACT stands for.
That's going in the bloopers. In the city centre of Canberra.
Well, we think it's the city centre. We don't know. We haven't been there before.
Hey guys, so today we're doing
For experimental purposes only.
And with the amount of concrete used to build Parliament House, it could make 25 Sydney Opera Houses. I've forgotten already.
Yeah, that's right.